my closest friend. But then you came and you soon departed, and you know it never showed his face again. That's why love keeps on lifting me higher, higher, higher. I say your love keeps on lifting me higher, higher, higher. Finally found you, God Almighty, God of light. And now with your loving arms around me, oh, I can stand up and sing with all my might. Let me tell you, love keeps on lifting me higher, higher, higher. I say love keeps on lifting me higher, higher. I say love keeps on lifting me oh, higher, higher, higher. I say love keeps on oh, lifting me higher, higher.
All right, let's all stand back up and sing our opening song, I Love Myself, the way I am. I love myself the way I am. There's nothing I need to change. I'll always be the perfect me. There's nothing to rearrange. I'm beautiful and capable of being the best me I can. And I love myself just the way I am. I love you the way you are. There's nothing you need to do. I feel love inside myself. It's easy to love you. Behind your fears, your rage and tears, I see your shining star. And I love you just the way you are. Love the world the way it is, 'cause I can clearly see that all the things I judge are done by people just like me. So till the birth of peace on earth that only love can bring, I'll help it grow by loving everything. We're gonna take it up a bit now. Love myself the way I am. Still I want to grow, but change outside can only come when deep inside I know I'm beautiful and capable of being the best me I can. And I love myself just the way I am. I love myself just the way I
All right, good morning. Yo, that's awesome. You love yourself just the way you are. I love that, because I love you too. So, welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living, Capistrano Valley. My name is Reverend Arpad. I am a staff minister here. And wherever you have been on your spiritual journey, you are welcome here. I don't care what you did or said last night. It's okay. Now, I have good news for the sports fans. Football season starting next week. Okay? Now, here at the center, there's something in football that's called fantasy football. So if you're not a sports fan, what that means is you get to pick your own players, you pick your own team, and then you play against other people who have done that, right? Well, at the center, we play fantasy spirituality. Okay, what that means is we get to choose which defensive thoughts that no longer serve us. We get to choose the quarterback that's going to throw a winning touchdown to show us enlightenment and happiness. Life is good. Yes. All right. But we're also a trans-denominational center, which means we honor all paths to God, all religious beliefs, all truths, all forms of love. So to get this clam bake going, just follow me. As we read the flames of faith. We perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all people, all faiths, all sentient beings come from one great universal presence, which we call spirit. Fundamental to this truth is the unifying nature of all religious thought and experience, which we honor here today. We light the candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous people, the way of primal spirituality. We light the candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by a sacred law. We light the candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of compliance and the will of God as the highest calling. We light the candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the candle for all forms of new thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. And as we light the last candle, as Paula lights that last candle, let it represent the path that brought you here today. And if you would join me in for 2 minutes of silence. Thank you. That sacred practice just opens your heart and mind to listen better to Spirit.
Well, this morning, I think through that wonderful, rousing music we had this morning, it's pretty obvious that the power and presence, which we call God, which we breathe into our lungs every day, which we send out into the world as love, is present here today. So what I know for each and every one of you, that you are all individualized expressions of that incredible power, intelligence, and love that permeates everything. So today what I know for you is that you will take that love, which is inexhaustible, which exists inside of each and every one of you, and use it to solve any problem, to make a new friend, to lift somebody's heart and demeanor, and you will use it often, all this month, because this is our month of love, living it out there. So I know for each and every one of you that you have everything you need inside of you to have an incredible life, to spread it around the world, and to bring it home, all encompassing every type of love. So spread it out there. Let it flow around you like a warm breeze and send it out wherever you go. So I am so grateful for each and every one of you. You make our center beautiful, and you are important to the world. So I simply say thank you, God, and thank you for your presence and your capacity to do the wonderful things that you do. And I simply move this entire prayer as truth for each and every one of you into the law, and I know that it is done. And please join me by saying, and so it is. Please join me in reading our global vision. We see a world that works for all, where humanity rediscovers personal creative power, where we live as one global family, where communities are involved in meaningful service to the world, and where there is peace, harmony, and justice for all. Please help me by reading today's affirmation. I have the courage to be who I am and to love myself out loud, and so it is.
Woo, thank you, Paula. And so it is, and so it's time again to hear the dynamic duo of Alan and Dale.
How many of you are God? How many of you love yourselves? And well, it just stands to reason that the power that created this universe and created all of us in its image, and it loves us, how could we not love ourselves? So, we're going to do a song that is directly from God. It's called More. Take a look at the mountain, stretching a mile high. Take a look at the ocean, far as your eye can see. And think of me. Take a look at the desert. Do you feel like a grain of sand? I'm with you wherever, and where you go is where I am. And I'm always thinking of you. Take a look around you. I'm spelling it out one by one. I love you more than the sun and the stars that I taught how to shine. You are mine and you shine for me too. I love you yesterday and today and tomorrow. I'll say face in the city, just a tear on a crowded street. But you are one in a million, and you belong to me. And I want you to know that I'm not letting go, even when you come undone. I love you more than the sun and the stars that I taught how to shine. You are mine and you shine for me too. I love you yesterday and today and tomorrow. I'll say it again and again. I love you more. I love you more. Yeah. Shine for me. You shine for me. Shine on. You shine on. You shine for me. I love you more than the sun and the stars that I taught how to shine. You are mine and you shine for me too. I love you yesterday and today and tomorrow. I'll say it again and again. I love you more than the sun and the stars that I taught how to shine. You are mine and you shine for me too. I love you yesterday and today and the joy and the pain. I'll say it again and again. I love you more. I love you more. And I see you, and I made you, and I love you more than you can imagine, more than you can fathom. I love you more than the sun, and you shine for me.
That was wonderful. The music this morning. I don't know. Can you get a sense of what we're going to be talking about this month? Yeah, we're going to be talking about love this month. My name is Reverend Alice Reid, and I'm so happy to be with you here today. I am the spiritual director here, and it's my privilege to join you most Sundays right here at our center in beautiful San Clemente. And happy Labor Day. This is Labor Day weekend. This is the traditional weekend where we have hot dogs and hamburgers, or maybe a Impossible Burger if you don't eat meat. This is an interesting holiday, I think, sometimes. It's a little bit ironic that we celebrate the labor workforce by not working, right? By not working, by getting an extra day off, by spending more time with each other. And of course, the Labor Day tradition started back in the 1900s when our workforce needed to be cared for. The working conditions and over, large factories where men and women toiled to make the goods and things that we needed as a society and a culture needed to be we needed to go in and make sure that they were safe places for them. And so Labor Day was part of that. It was part of creating that safe space. And so we honor all those people who really created the infrastructure in our country today and have given us the world we know today in the U.S. So thank you, wherever you are. And we are talking about loving out loud this month. Now, all year we've had this beautiful theme of living out loud, and this month we're going to be talking about love, which is one of my favorite qualities of God. It's the one that resonates the most with me. It's that ability to begin to look at love as a superpower, if you will, that thing that we can draw upon, whether we are joyous and everything's going our way, or even when things aren't going our way. Love can serve us in a really powerful way. And so we're going to be looking at loving out loud all month. And I think that when we think about this idea of loving out loud, it gives us an opportunity to maybe lean in a little bit and go a little deeper with life. Because I'm going to suggest not the, typically when we talk about love, it's rainbows and unicorns and all the wonderful things that we love about love. But sometimes love can serve us when we're really challenged. The name of this talk today, the talk title that we're working with is I Love Myself So Much. And if you've been around our movement for any length of time, you may remember the kids and the teens singing that song, I Love Myself So Much. And the lyrics go, I love myself so much that I can love you so much, so you can love you so much, so you can start loving me. And I enjoy that song, but if I'm honest with you, sometimes it makes me a little uncomfortable to say I love myself so much, because there's still parts of me that I don't necessarily love. There's still parts of me that I feel a little uncomfortable with. And it's probably just me. I'm sure there's nobody else here that feels that way. As we mature, we chill out a little bit. We get more comfortable with ourselves. I'm pretty comfortable with my mind. I'm grateful for this teaching of consciousness that has really helped me to have a rich relationship with my thought life. And I'm pretty comfortable with my thoughts and my feelings and my emotional self. That's a place where it's easy to love myself. And then it comes to, it's body, mind, and spirit, right? And so then it comes to my body, and that's a place where I'm maybe not so much in love with myself. And that's where I have to do some of my heavy lifting. And sometimes there's things that are happening in the world that I don't love how I might show up under certain circumstances. I might find myself in a situation that really upsets me, or I really want to protect somebody, and I might behave in a way where I don't love myself so much. So this invitation of this song and this title, and as we begin this month of looking at love and loving out loud, is to look at ourselves and the places that need more love. And we often, I don't know about you, but there's often opportunities for me to do that, unfortunately. Typically, I know that there's an opportunity for me to pour more love in a situation when I get triggered. When something happens that makes me upset, that makes me extremely sad, that makes me angry, when my emotions begin to spin a little bit, it's a clue that I'm out of balance with my relationship with spirit and my relationship with life and my relationship with myself. And so that's a perfect opportunity for us to begin to really lean into love. And loving ourselves comes first, like the lyrics of the song. Because, like it or not, you see the world through your perspective. You see the world through how you are. You experience the world through your own feelings and your emotions and your thoughts. And so when we have those pockets of not loving ourselves, they too influence how we see the world. And that sounds really complicated, but all I'm talking about is projection, right? You know the idea of projection, where oftentimes when I'm looking out into the world and I'm feeling triggered, there's something in me that is projecting outward. And I'm seeing through that lens, and I might not be, clear or balanced. And so love offers me an opportunity to rebalance myself. Now, I know some of you might be thinking that, wait a minute, when some of these tragedies happening, when somebody goes in with a gun in a grocery store and shoots people, and I'm triggered by that, what do you mean? Does that mean I don't love myself? I'm not suggesting that. But I am suggesting that there might be something in us when the dust gets stirred up within us, that it might be an opportunity for us to find a way to apply love to the situation. And I'm not suggesting that we make excuses for horrific behavior. But I am suggesting that there's always a loving response to everything that we experience. And sometimes the things that trigger us out in the world are it's very subtle. We don't actually catch it right away. I have a dear friend who told a story about many years ago. She was watching Howard Stern. Now, you all familiar with Howard Stern? He was big on the East Coast. I imagine he might be, he probably made his presence known out here on the West Coast. And Howard Stern had a reputation for pushing buttons and being raw and being profane. And so my friend happened to be watching him one day, and as she's caught this little scene on the TV that Howard and a cohort were sitting there with laser pens, and there was a beautiful model in a bikini, and they were pointing out her flaws. Oh, look, her chin's too long, or her legs don't even out, or something like that. And she got incensed. She was so angry that these two men would do that to this beautiful young woman on, TV in front of everybody. And she carried that for a couple of days. And it bothered her, like, why do I keep sitting with this? Why am I so triggered by this thing that happened for 10 minutes on a TV show to a perfect stranger? And she puzzled with it for a couple of days until she found herself standing in the mirror, and she was pointing out to herself in her mind all the little flaws that she saw in herself. And that suddenly came true to her. She understood why she was so upset. It was because there was something that she needed to bring forward and release, a practice that it was not loving of her own body temple. And so when I say it can be subtle, it can be really subtle. And when we look at this idea of loving ourselves and loving ourselves more completely, it's, as we do this path of being on the consciousness and doing spiritual practices, we get better at catching things, and those things that need to be caught get subtler and subtler. So it's our work to recognize when we're out of balance, when we might not be loving ourselves. The other place that not loving myself shows up, and I actually think I'm pretty average when it comes to my experiences, are, maybe in a professional sense. I can remember, coming up in my first career as an accountant and feeling inadequate and, getting really triggered when somebody would ask me questions about my work. And it was all centered around not having confidence in myself or not being compassionate with myself that maybe I had more to learn, right? I mean, those are the places that we get tripped up. We sometimes hold these impossible standards for ourselves. And the most loving thing we can do is love ourselves exactly where we are. There's a wonderful man who talks about love a lot, and his name is Matthew Kahn. And he wrote a book, and just the title just really says it all. The title of his book is, Whatever Arises, Love That. Whatever arises, love that. And he talks in his book that whenever things come up in our lives and in the world, it is a call for love. The Course in Miracles says that whenever there is the Course talks about attack, but whenever we have those experiences, those knee-jerk experiences, those gut-wrenching experiences, it's a call for love. And so Matthew writes, he makes this remarkable claim, actually. He says that if every human being on the planet could love themselves unconditionally, the power of that amount of love would purify the oceans. Now, there's no way to prove that that's an accurate statement unless we start loving ourselves 100% unconditionally. And, it's a practice, isn't it? It's really a practice. We don't, when we're in this human experience, we fall short. We forget. We have an argument with somebody we care about, and we take it personally. Our feelings get hurt. And we forget that we're beautiful beings just tripping our way through life, doing the best we can. But I really want you to think about those experiences, because it's easy to love you when you're doing what I want. It's easy to love you when everything's copacetic. It's easy to love and have a little love fest when we're all on the same page. But I think our call as spiritual students and people on the path is to choose love when it's not easy. There's that great saying, what would love do, right? What would love do when we find ourselves? I remember going to my teacher, Jeffrey Proctor, and I was a puddle and a mess, and I told him all about the drama that was going on, and he just looked at me with great compassion and said, well, what would love do? It's a great question to carry in your hip pocket when you're really struggling with a relationship or a situation. And to do the work to think about what is the most loving thing to do. Sometimes the most loving thing to do is walk away, right? And let it be. Sometimes the most loving thing to do is scoop somebody up and let them know, just like the beautiful words of some of the songs we've sung this morning, that you are loved more than the stars, more than the mountains are high. But it takes discernment. It takes spiritual practice. One of the tools that I use are two of them actually, are prayer and meditation. They help to keep me clear. And I don't always have the luxury to be in the middle of something and say, could you wait for about 20 minutes? I'm going to go meditate, and then we'll come back to this. But what I know about my meditation practice is it does create kind of a storehouse in me. It creates this place for me to draw upon in the moment, whatever that moment happens to be when it comes up. There's another book that I was drawing upon as I was thinking about this topic, and it's called The Principle of Oneness. It's a pretty obscure little book that I happened upon through a colleague, and the piece in here I want to read to you is, I think, very prevalent and speaks to why exactly should we make this thing called loving ourselves and self-love and self-compassion, why it should be really high on our priority list. And so the author writes, all negative emotions will feel unpleasant, and that is your indication that something is out of balance with God. All emotions that feel unpleasant are signals of inconsistency within the collective consciousness. These inconsistencies are often false beliefs of duality in the universe and in opposition to the natural unity of the principle of oneness. If you attack or wish ill of someone, you are attacking and sabotaging yourself. If you hate others, you hate yourself. Instead of reacting with dislike or hate, choose instead to just allow that part of you to exist without any judgment. This is the enlightened choice. And so when I read that, I thought about this high idea that with this principle of oneness that we subscribe to, that I can't separate myself from the saints and the sinners. I can't separate myself from the do-gooders and the people who cause havoc, because we're all one. And the way that I begin to treat my mind spiritually is with love. What is the most loving thing for me to do in any situation? when I come across those challenging relationships or episodes in my life? What is it that love wants me to do in response? What I know about love is that it's truly a superpower and that it dissolves everything unlike it. It doesn't destroy things. It absorbs. It encompasses. It brings into itself all the things that are unlike it. And it's not, and I'm not talking about conformity or trying to create a world where everybody's the same. What I'm really talking about is that love makes room for our uniqueness. Love makes room for if you look around this room right now, no two of us are alike. Unless your twins were here, and then we... But no two of us are alike. We are each endowed with our own features, with our own body temples, with our own thoughts, with our own predispositions, with the things that the gifts and the challenges, they're all gifts from God. They're all unique, and they're all what makes us authentic. And so when we can remember that love knows how to make room for it all, and then when we can have that be our choice in any situation, wow, maybe Matt Kahn is right, that kind of love can heal the planet and clean the oceans and lift us up. It's a practice. It really is a practice. And I know these are high ideals that I'm sharing with you. Before I share that, how many of you have done the I love you practice? Maybe you think you did or you didn't. Maybe we could try it right now. And so what I'm going to invite you to do is to practice some deep self-love, and it's really simple. So if you'll just close your eyes for a minute and take a deep breath. And bring forward an image of yourself. Maybe standing in front of the mirror, brushing your hair, picking out an outfit for the day. Just see yourself in front of you. And as you look at that image in your mind's eye, say, I love you. Take it in. And I'm going to ask you to go a little deeper with this. And as you continue to hold that image of yourself, I'm going to invite you to say out loud, I love you. All together now. I love you. Yeah. Hear those words. Take it in. You can open your eyes when you're ready. It's such a simple thing. You can do that when you look at yourself in the mirror. Saying it out loud is important, and the reason is that our words carry vibrationary energy. So being able to say, I love you, when you look at your own image, or even when you go within and you picture your image, and saying it out loud, is a great way to feel some discomfort maybe, or maybe it's really easy for some of you. Maybe it's like it was a snap. And it'll depend on how much practice we're doing. Because in this thing called life, we have ups and downs. We remember, we forget. We have a heated argument, and oftentimes we forget until we can remember. But that practice can bring us back to something really powerful, that place of self-love that, just like the airline stewardess will tell you, that you need to put your own oxygen mask on before you can help others. Self-love is that way as well. We need to love ourselves and to root out those places where we where we are unloving to ourselves, where maybe we have some self-talk that isn't kind, where we're not compassionate to ourselves when maybe we make a mistake. And when we fall off the beam, when we miss the mark, it's not about beating ourselves up, it's just about compassionately bringing us back to love. One of my favorite quotes in the Bible, it's actually both in the Old Testament and the New Testament, is this: love God with all of your heart and all of your soul and all of your mind and all of your strength. And for purposes of our inquiry today, as we look at self-love, and as we know in our philosophy, it's all God. There's no place where God is not. God is here, God is in you, God is in you, God is in... There's no exception to God is everywhere. And so when we look at this love, because love knows the next thing, right move to make. Love knows when it's time to take care of yourself and maybe back away. Love knows. And so when we have those, I'll call them when we're tempted not to love, because I get tempted from time to time, and I imagine you do as well. When we're tempted not to love, we can remember this powerful line from Scripture, that when we can love God with all of us, with everything we have, be all in, that we really can experience miracles, that healing happens, that revealing happens. And all month we're going to be looking at this idea of love, and I'm going to look at it from a couple of different angles, but I want us to start this week by looking at loving ourselves, and that the most loving thing we can do in any situation is to choose love and to look at how love wants to show up in some of our, in the easy places, but also in the prickly places. So my invitation to you is to do what the Course in Miracles says, where it says that every attack is a call for love. So look at those places where you might be triggered and see what wants more love. Because it's your job, because you're triggered, to find the love in it. Thank you very much. So let's go ahead and pray. What I know is that there is only one life. That life is perfect. That life is God's life. And that life is my life now. So I choose, as I move through this week, to see God everywhere I look, in the lovely places and the unlovely places, and to choose love. Love for myself and love for the world around me. For this is an opportunity, this loving thing that we're talking about. It is an opportunity to embrace life, to pour love on it, and to watch it transform. Watch it transform our own lives, and to watch it transform the lives around us. And so it is with deep gratitude that I hold this highest idea of loving all life, loving myself first, and then loving you with all of my heart and all of my soul and all of my mind and all of my strength. So we give thanks for this highest ideal, and we give thanks for the courage and the strength to walk it out this week, to be those lovers of life and lovers of God everywhere we go. And so we simply release this, knowing that this call to love is never too great, and we are always supported. And together we say, and so it is. Thank you very much. And it's now time to bring back our band and the wonderful, the talented, the inspiring, the beautiful Alan Dale.
So the next love song we're doing is surprisingly called Love Song.
What a surprise.
This is a song that Reverend Judy used to sing to her children when they were growing up, and also at Roy Dixon's memorial service we sang that. And so it's a beautiful song about love, and if you want, I invite you to just close your eyes and take in the words and the beautiful music, originally recorded by Elton John. Love Song.
The words I have to say may well be simple, but they're true. Until you give your love, there's nothing more that we can do. Love is the opening door. Love is what we came here for. No one could offer you more. Do you know what I mean? Have your eyes really seen? You say it's very hard to leave behind the life we knew. But there's no other way, and now it's really up to you. Love is the key we must turn. Truth is the flame we must burn. Freedom the lesson we must learn. Do you know what I mean? Have your eyes really seen? La 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 Love is the key we must turn. Truth is the flame we must burn. Freedom the lesson we must learn. Do you know what I mean? Have your eyes really seen? Do you know what I mean? Have your eyes really seen?
Wow, 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 wow. I don't want to leave this love fest. This is pretty, pretty special today. I don't know does anybody else feel it? Yeah, this is awesome. So now we get to share our love in a different way. It's through our committed giving, and it's time for our offerings. And it's time to welcome Diane and the band. Just reading what's up there. If the officers come forward. You have a little blessing cards. And if it's your time to give this morning, fantastic. If it's not your time, give when you can. And take a blessing card, hold it in your hand, and it says, in deep gratitude for all my blessings, I place this card in a basket. I ask that these offerings are blessed, appreciated, and multiplied. It is my honor to give my blessing in this way. Thank you, God, universe, and spirit. And so it is.
So this morning we're trying something different, and I'd like you to join me right away on a song I know you know called I Release and I Let Go. Here we go. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is opened wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. One more time. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I am free in the Spirit. Yes,
I'm only here for God. Woo! All right. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. And thank you, God, for these blessings. As we give, and so we shall receive. And so it is. All right. Are you here for the first time? Oh, that's funny. I never read that before. Anyone here for the first time? We have a guest. If you would stand up, we have a gift for you. And you can take that gift to the bookstore and get another gift. Thank you. Let's send her some love real quick, guys. Woo! Anyone else? Oh, we have one more? Thank you. All right. Hey, I guess I should thank Diane and the band right now because the slide came up and I go, oh, I should read that, right? And, duh. No, out of order. Here she is, Diane and the band. And let us give a hand for all the volunteers, all those who are laboring for this center. We have Mary in the back. We have Dave. We have somebody on the Karen and Steve. They're all in service.
And our songbirds, and Rick and Karen.
Well, let me get to them. Come on, what is this? They're not a pause? Women have a hard time when men have a pause. I swear to God. We got to fill it in. We got to fix it. Karen, our songbirds. And we have 3 practitioners in practice this morning. If you need a miracle after the service, please go see them. Okay, what's next? Here we go. That's it. Let's see now. It's time for the one, the only, Clark Wilson.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Ah, there's a light here. You're invited to stay for Conscious Connection today. Join a small group discussion about loving ourselves. Mary Brogdon facilitates this discussion. This Wednesday, September 6th at 6:30 p.m., you're invited to join Christian Steele at 6:30 for his class, Meditation Practice for Everyday Life. This is the real stuff. You got to see it. Reverend Ellis will teach a class entitled Exploring the Roots of Science of Mind. It's a 10-week class. It will be on Wednesday mornings from 10 to 12, beginning September 13th. Registration begins tomorrow online through the link on our website. The link is also available in our email newsletter. Pick up a flyer like this one in the lobby. And this is a reminder, if you will, about the CSL member gathering to be held virtually on September 29th and 30th for the low, low cost of $49. The meeting is taking place in Atlanta on Friday evening from 4 to 6:45 p.m. Pacific Time, and Saturday from 8 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. Now, this is a great opportunity to hear wonderful CSL speakers and New Thought musicians that we would not hear otherwise. And it's geared specifically for lay people, so it's for all of us. For anyone who chooses not to sit in front of a computer all day on Saturday, you have another option, and here's the alternative. Our center is participating in the Family Assistance Ministry's 36th annual Hunger Walk. That's Saturday afternoon, September 30th. Parking for this event is provided at the San Clemente outlets with free shuttle service to downtown 10 a.m. till 10 p.m. Registration begins at 1 p.m. in the community center. The walk begins there at 2 p.m. and ends at the Pier Bowl with a celebration including a DJ, a photo booth, and opportunity drawings. And this portion of our invitations has been brought to you through the courtesy of Colonel Aloysius P. Clark's Black Bean and Roasted Corn Salad, which is back over there. That's right. Colonel Aloysius P. Clark spares no expense when he creates these wonderful creations for you, and wishes to remind you that he doesn't use a lot of salt, so you might want to use a little salt on there yourself. That's Colonel Aloysius P. Clark's Black Bean and Roasted Corn Salad back there. It's clean, it's vegan, it's delicious. Have some today. We want to tell you about another upcoming event in October. The Kalama Brothers will be our guest performers on October 22nd. They'll give a benefit concert after the service. We are also hosting a luau in their honor and donating the center's share of the love offering to support the relief effort in Maui. We have 3 weekly small groups. Yeah, how about that? That's pretty good. We have 3 weekly small groups, which are open to anyone and everyone. Wednesdays with Mary is a book study on Zoom from 9 to 10:30 a.m. Again, the current book is called Soul Boom, Why We Need a Spiritual Revolution by Rainn Wilson. Shifting Sands meets on Thursdays from 10:30 to 12:30 in person and available on Zoom if you can't attend in person. Coming Home, Awakening to Spirit is a support group that meets on Friday mornings at 8 a.m. Joyce Fournier hosts this Zoom meeting. For details about these and other activities here at CSLCV, pick up a colorful flyer like this one in the lobby. Thank you very much. Please stand and sing the closing song. Birthdays. That's what we're going to do first. Pardon me.
Have a birthday in September. Let us sing to you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
Yay! Woo-hoo! And now it's time to stand and let's sing our closing song. New one.
I'm gonna let Spirit love me now, and I'm worthy of His love. I'm gonna let Spirit love me now, I'm worthy of His love. I'm gonna let Spirit love me now, I'm worthy of His love. I'm gonna let Spirit love me now, I'm
moved through this week, I know, and know this with me now, we are worthy of this love, and we spread it around liberally. So it is.